Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. Happy Saturday to you and your family. Taking a little look here at Pepe. Kind of talking a little bit about, well, our yesterday's video, of course. You watched all the way through. Congratulations to you in taking that long position that we took as a community. We're up about 62% presently for our current trade there. Of course, it depends on where the price action goes from here. You got to recognize that Bitcoin just sold off a pretty healthy amount, and that dip caused the same type of dip here for Pepe. Okay, so just got to recognize the correlation between the two coins. It's really important to understand that. But that being said, we had this nice ascending type of pattern that we had where the price action worked itself into a wedge, couldn't pass this resistance level. Now that it broke above, we can assume that's going to be a new support. Okay, that was basically a strong short squeeze, essentially shoot the price action up higher. Shorts leverage their shorts with longs, and effectively the price shoots up from there. Okay, so standard stuff, really cool things. But awesome stuff there in that regard. Congratulations to, again, those who watched the video all the way through. And I like to say all the way through because there are some folks that unfortunately they'll do themselves a disservice. They'll fast forward to the end to try to get the answers when, in truth, there are no answers at the end. It's just all the way through. Everything that you do with technical analysis is, just a compilation of different things to bring yourself to an informed decision, right? So statistical analysis, really all it is. And if you're new to the channel, keep in mind, not a financial advisor, love to teach people to trade. Hope you can learn something here today. And again, let's go ahead and see what we can do to help you out. So with the daily time frame, we got to acknowledge the obvious here, but I've been talking about how awesome this is. While money flow is coming down, that is not that big of a problem because we're holding right above 50 at the RSI. Okay, so that's a huge support level for us, and that is awesome stuff. So keep in mind that MFI is going to be a little bit on the low side because if you take the last 14 days of trading data, it's a lot different than the previous 14 days. All right, so pretty big difference there in that sense. So even though we have less volume as compared to before, it's more volume in general in the last couple of weeks. So it's a very positive sign, okay? When we take a look at the 4 hour, let's go ahead and see what we can identify here. Oh wait, you know what? Let's go back to the daily. I want to check on the simple moving average and just see. There's a good chance that, once again, I mentioned this before, this will probably be a strong resistance area. So keep in mind right there at that 0.5, 162,000 should be somewhat of a resistance, not just based on previous resistances, but also the fact that the 20-day SMA is effectively holding the price action in place there, or should. Okay, so keep in mind the 20-day SMA will absolutely hold the price action in place if and when we get there. Okay. Key takeaway is because we don't know truly if we're going to hit that level, but it seems very likely that we're going to continue to progress a little higher. 4 hour time frame tells us something very similar. We came up right there to test that 50-day SMA and got rejected pretty hard. Obviously, that makes sense considering we had our first breakout in some time, but generally speaking, that's a very common resistance level. We can also see that we're up over 50 on the RSI right now. I'm not super excited about this, but I do like it. And what I mean by that is, the first time you break above a resistance level, you have to see if it tests and holds as a support. So the price coming down right now, we're going to see if that support level here at 50 on the RSI, concurrent with 146,000, will also potentially bounce, right? We want to get that double bounce. That'd be perfect if we did. We still have a convergence on the MACD here as well, so that's a very positive sign. So the 4 hour you can disseminate looks very good and very healthy. So I like to see what we're seeing here so far. Keep in mind, once again, just take a look at this correlation here between Bitcoin, 1 hour candle, and Pepe, right? Very similar sell-off there. So just be mindful, if Bitcoin has a bad day, Pepe is going to follow along to the downside. But you got to recognize too, this pump, this increase here, that was led to the fact that we kept testing this resistance level. It has nothing to do with Bitcoin because Bitcoin pumped previous and Pepe didn't, right? So again, some important things to recognize. Generally speaking, you can assume that Pepe will retrace and pull back if Bitcoin pulls back. But if Bitcoin increases, it's 50-50 on Pepe increasing or not. That's where the technical analysis does come into play. Even though there's a direct correlation, they're not 100% exact. Okay? So identifying that is a very big, good step in the right direction, right? Gives you a slight leg up. Taking a look at TD sequential, we can say we came up to an 8 here, so retracement makes sense. If we were to pull back to 146, I wouldn't be super concerned. But again, it'd be recommended or ideal if it didn't. And I would consider, taking a little bit of profit if you haven't already. I like to trim my position. Oftentimes when we get closer to profitable locations there, which we have, we're pretty close to our profit target as well for our community. So good stuff there. Take a quick look at the cloud. This is what I was talking about yesterday. Excuse me. With the price action kept retesting the cloud here. And once it broke above, it took off, okay? So again, it's that consistency of getting rejected by that trend line and effectively holding the price action in place. But right now, we can see the lagging spends free and clear, the conversion lines above the baseline, those are all positive signs. Okay, so these are basically just telling us if you have a long position open, leave it open. There's no reason to close it because the fact that we are on the right side of tracks, we're looking very good and very healthy here. Okay, so all in all, there's really nothing that I can see here that's disadvantageous. The likelihood of the price action continuing higher is great. Keep in mind it could very well continue a little bit lower here before it legs up again, okay? And the reason why I think that could happen is just simply put, we have this lower low here effectively and tentatively lower highs, right? So it's kind of working itself into a little bit of a channel here. But a lot of times when you have a channel like this, for example, the price action will come up and it'll take off again, right? That's basically a bull flag pennant pattern. Or bull flag pattern, not a pennant, but generally speaking, that's essentially what we're looking at there. So very, very cool. I like what I see here. So I would say, all in all, green light, we should expect further upside from here. Once again, unless Bitcoin has a consistently bad day, we're looking at probably a good significant increase there from Pepe. Keep in mind too, this is somewhat of a support level here for Bitcoin. Just a touch on this here at about 26,500. That's the previous resistance level. You can see it tested multiple times before it broke. Therefore, should establish itself as a new support. Okay, you see the same thing here for Pepe, right? Price action had trouble crossing this level. Once it did, it might come back down to retest and continue higher. Okay, that's generally what we're looking at there. So all in all, pretty darn good stuff here from Pepe. I like what I see. I'm comfortable and confident in leaving our position open here. And again, if you want to become a better trader, make sure you use BitGet or BINGX. We actually have a new reward here for them. Basically, first 100 users are registered with us, they get a $10,000 reward essentially. They just basically share that. So in other words, you get a $100 trading bonus with no volume or deposit required. Okay. Now obviously it must be traded on the exchange. You can't just withdraw that, but it is absolutely a benefit no matter how you look at it. Keep in mind it does take roughly a week for that to process. So trying to get overly concerned if you don't have that money right away, but I would recommend just using them. The reason why they're helpful, just keep this in mind too, is because there's no KYC or VPN required for Canada, Europe, Oceania, US and UK. This is basically our transition from Bybit to BingX because of the fact that they allow for us to be able to have that option in restricted countries. Okay, so awesome stuff there. Congrats again to our community members who are benefiting from that. Really great exchange. Thank you, BingX, for offering that. And BitGet as well. Also too, of course, because we have trading competitions with them. There's one active right now at this point as well. All right, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. We'll see you in the next video. Take good care of yourself.